Okay, so I'm here to talk to you all today about an article I found on wikihow. And I think it's going to be helpful to a number of you because a lot of you are in this predicament, right? Where you know a person and you suspect that they might be gay, right? So the title of this wikihow article is How to Discreetly Find Out If Someone You Know is Gay. Now, why you might want to know if someone is gay, someone that you know is gay, that's a totally personal, it doesn't necessarily mean you're scared of them. It just means that you just, it's not just because you might be leaning over to get something thinking, is he looking at, that's bigoted, that's old-fashioned, and none of you think like that, right? I'm sure. But how to discreetly find out by snooping, investigating. What do you reckon wikihow is going to recommend to us? Do we rummage through their trash? Is that too far? Right? What evidence should we be looking for in order to discreetly find out if someone we know is gay? Okay, so someone's sexuality is personal. Well, yes, personal in the sense that it's a la carte, I guess. In many ways, it's very public, though. I mean, most of us don't want any ambiguity as to what our sexual orientation is. We don't want to be attracting the advances of a particular group that we're not interested in. Again, okay. But anyway, someone's sexuality is personal, so it's important to respect their privacy. However, you can respect their privacy on the surface, but then you rummage through their trash, right, wikihow? Is that what we do? Let's find out. However, even though it's personal, you might want to know if a person is gay because you're interested in dating them. Are you interested in dating a gay person? This is the article for you, okay? Also, if you're interested in dating them or you want to support them as a friend, you want to go out there and get him, go and, be gay, because that's what friends are for, right? Being open with them can be scary, so you're likely feeling very nervous. Are you feeling nervous around this potentially gay person? A bit worried? A bit suspicious? Well, this is the article for you too, right? While you can't tell, I'm sorry about my throat. While you can't tell if someone is gay by how they look, no, never, 1,000 times no, you cannot tell if a person is gay from the way they look. There are no outward signs, ever, right? And if you think that there are sometimes indicators of gayness, then you are a bigot, and we need to send you to a re-education camp of some kind, okay? So hand yourself in to the local authorities as soon as possible, okay? Because as wikihow says, you cannot tell if someone is gay by how they look. However, and there's always a however in these wikihow articles, it should be called wiki however. Good one. Got him. You can't tell if someone is gay by the way they look, but you can observe them to see if they are queer. Queers, you can see queers a mile off, right? Or is it like queer adjective? Yeah, I think it's an adjective here. In fact, there's a disclaimer here. It says, the term queer is used throughout this article to include different types of orientations and is not intended to offend or insult. Just the same way as my video is not intended to insults. I'm here to better myself, right? I don't always get things right. I've told you before, I've tried to get the sympathy vote and it just doesn't seem to be working right. I was brought up on a council estate in Sheffield, Parsons Cross, right? And yeah, I sometimes use the word gay to mean lame. And I think something's a bit gay. That's gay, right? I don't mean homosexual, I just mean gay, you know? And I know some of you have taken issue with that. And I'm here, I'm trying to learn, okay? So don't gaslight me, please. You wouldn't want to gaslight somebody right in the midst of the LGBTQ plus two-spirit re-education. I'm sorry, I sound like a hack saying that kind of stuff. And I'm not. I'm genuinely trying to become more enlightened, all right? You can't tell if someone's gay by how they look. Never. However, you can see if they're queer. However, there's another however. However, you need to talk to them if you want to be sure. And you do want to be sure. That's why you're reading this wikihow article, right? You want to know, and we don't know why you want to know, but you're here, aren't you? We're all here. We're all queer. Curious. You must talk to them if you want to be sure, and you do want to be sure. If you're interested in dating them, start by asking them to hang out as friends so you can get to know them better, right? Don't come all across all gay straight off the bat, you know, when they could be batting for the other team, the straight team, right? And you're all there being gay and they don't want to be gay, right? I have to say, growing up on Parsons Cross, the council estate in Sheffield where I grew up, it would be considered quote unquote gay to ask someone to hang out as friends. In fact, I'm remembering a time now. I was maybe 10, 11 years old, something like that. I don't know. One of those ages, around that age. That was about how big I was. And my friend Mike, who I've mentioned before, he and I were playing football in the park. And don't worry, Mike, if you're watching this, you're not gay and I'm not gay. None of us are gay. However, I said something that day that brought a lot of negative attention my way, in a gay way, right? And we were in the park one day, wooden park we used to call it. It's this absolute wreck behind the houses where Mike lived. And we were in the park playing headers and volleys, I think we were playing, and we'd been eliminated because there were bigger kids there, not because we weren't amazing athletes. We had very athletic bodies, me and Mike. A bit of puppy fat on my side, but we'd been eliminated. That's the point. We were sitting on the grass. There was a few of us around, you know, who'd been knocked out of the game of headers and volleys. And I said that this is a true story. It's not that amazing, actually. I'll get to it, though. I said to Mike, when this is over, do you want to come to my house? And his, like, stepbrother or something, I think it was called Paul, a rat tail, rough-looking kid. And he immediately looked over at me, like, with a scowl on his face. We didn't like each other. You know, we were both kind of rough kids, and he was a bit tougher than me, I think, if you can believe it. He looked over at me. He didn't say anything, and I went red in the face, and I went, that sounded, I know that sounded gay. And he immediately just laid into me. Not physically, verbally. Just, oh, do you want to come to my house when this is over? I deserved it, okay? Now, I'm trying to explain, don't gaslight me, I'm trying to explain where I grew up, right? How I grew up. You could be called gay for this, for asking someone over to your house in the wrong way, right? And nobody actually thought you were gay. They probably wouldn't care if you were gay. They were gay kids. You know, not that you could tell because there's no outward signs, as WikiHow has told us. But there were kids who were pretty, you know, they were insinuating, right? We were doing all these investigatory measures. We were taking all these steps to find out if other kids were gay. It was just a bit more blunt, you know. I'm sure on Passing Cross, I don't know how much things have changed in the last 20 years, but I don't know. I reckon back then, 2002, when I left Passing Cross for a better life in Hillsborough, I think you probably could have been gay, just so long as you weren't gay, you know. You can be gay, just don't be all gay about it, you know. Be cool. Because gay is kind of the opposite of cool. It didn't mean homosexual. Not where I was from. No, sir. But anyway, let's see. These are the measures. These are steps you can take to out a gay person against their will. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Algorithm. I'm joking. This is a WikiHow article. This is as PC as it comes, and I'm learning. Right? I'm not here to say the unsayable. All right? No. By definition, no. Observing their behavior. This is the first step you can take to find out if someone you know is gay. For whatever reason, you might want to find that out. Listen to how they comment on other people's appearance. Apparently, gay people have a certain way of talking about fashion and clothes and stuff, right? So these are the typical things that a gay person might say when they're commenting on somebody else's appearance, according to WikiHow, not my words. For example, your guy friend might say something like, "Did you see those guys' abs? Did you see those guys' abs?" Like, that would be considered, that would kind of sound gay. If you were in Passing Cross, that would sound gay on both levels. First of all, "Did you see those guys' abs?" is clearly like, ooh, the abs. It's like the dick line, right? Kind of sounds like you're thinking about, okay? Whereas like a butch man like me, I would say something like, "Oh, he's built." Right? I might even be a little bit, I like what I see. Not in a gay way, but I admire them, right? But I'd be like, "He's built. Oh, he's well hard. Oh, he's hard." Right? That's what you say. I definitely wouldn't say on Wooden Park behind Mike's house, "Do you see those guys' abs?" Also, another thing that they might say, if they're gay, a guy might say, "He looks great in a suit." I'll stop doing the voice. I know that's ignorant. Some of them talk a bit like that. I've got it. Well, I'll get into that later. He looks he looks great in a suit. Yeah, that would definitely not happen on Passing Cross. Maybe in a tracksuit. "He looks great in a tracksuit. I love his TNs." Ooh, his TN cap. Wow, looking sharp. Oh yeah. I love the way his shell suit. I love the way he tucks his tracky bottoms into his socks. Wow. Keep in mind that this alone doesn't mean the person is gay. All right? All right, Paul? I didn't say anything even that bad and you accused me of. Okay? I didn't say anything about your rat tail bitch haircut, did I? Right? You look like a bitch. I'm not scared of you. There's thousands of miles between us now. You ain't getting anywhere near me, Paul. Paul was his name, I believe. Yeah. Let's move on. Number 2. Another way of observing potentially gay people's behavior, right? To know if they're gay, and why you want to know, I don't know. That's a you problem, okay? I'm not going to gaslight you and say that you're preoccupied with people. We're here to learn together. Consider a person's past relationships and crushes. For instance, and it gives another helpful example here. Thank you, wikihow, because without this, I don't know how I'd navigate my situation. For instance, a guy that enjoys dating girls is probably straight. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Hang on, you can't know. That's no indicator. Just because a guy is always dating girls does not mean he's... No, right? Look at George Michael, Elton John, right? I understand. They can change, right? For instance, a guy that enjoys dating girls is probably straight, particularly if he enjoys it, right? Though he may be bisexual or pansexual, just like a whole pan of sexualities, and he just is eating from the pan, doesn't even put it on a plate, right? Can't be bothered. Sloppy, if you ask me. But let's move on to the third way of observing potentially gay people's behavior to know whether they are, in fact, gay. Notice if they use they when talking about dates and crushes. Okay? Are they going to use the word they a lot? Then they are probably gay. Well, I don't know if they are, but let's see what wikihow means by this. I don't know. They might say, my date went well last night. They were really interesting, and I hope they'll say yes to a second date. Okay, I think I follow. Another bullet point. Keep in mind that they might be using the pronouns they and them because they are their date's preferred pronouns. I understand. Don't make assumptions until you talk to them. I wouldn't be making assumptions after talking them, wikihow, so, you know, nothing's real, okay? Only our philosopher kings know true forms, right? Thank you, Plato, for making the world a non-binary place. Okay? Not like that bigot Aristotle. You know, pointing to the earth. Is that what happened? I think that's what happened. Consider if, this is point number 4, consider if they never talk about their love life. Now, talking about your love life, how is that indicative of what sexuality you are? Well, I guess if you're talking about how you're always banging certain members of a certain group, then, you know, that's probably indicative of something, not or nothing. Who knows, right? I've got to say, I don't like people who talk about their sex life. And I don't mean I don't like them talking, I mean I don't like them. I cringe when people talk about their relationships, their relations. Okay? I don't like it. I'm not a for it, I'm agin it. Okay? Keep that stuff to yourself. Certainly around me. I don't want to know. I don't talk about what I do ever because cringe, right? It's a shameful act. And I'm stealing a little bit there from Norm Macdonald, but he's right in many ways. It is a shameful act. You wouldn't want anyone watching you. Or would you? In which case you're a sick pervert, right? And it feels like when you're telling me about what you did with someone, it feels like I'm there watching you. It feels like you are enjoying that in some way. You're getting some kind of sick power from it. Well, leave me alone, okay? I don't want to know. I'm pure. Consider if they never talk about their love life, they're probably a decent human being. You could say, this is another helpful piece of advice here. You could say, I've been seeing this guy lately. So you want to get them to open up about their love life, right? I've been seeing this guy lately and I think our relationship has a future. How's your dating life going? Now, the thing is, if I'm guessing this is a woman talking, a straight woman, or is it a gay man? I should probably read the whole thing. Now, if on Passing Cross I said, I've been dating this girl lately and I think our relationship has a future. How's your dating life going? Mike, for example, he would, well, I think that would be the end of our friendship, right? That would probably, that level of faux civility, never seen on Passing Cross. They wouldn't know what you were saying. How's my dating life going? What the fuck is wrong with you? Who talks like that? Who wrote this article and who is the intended... I'm breaking character for a second. Who is the intended recipient of this information? What is going on? And again, I don't want to offend yet another demographic. I hope I haven't offended any demographics today. I shouldn't have. Oh, well, except the thin-skinned people. I bet you're all butthurt. Double entendre there. But I don't want to upset any other demographics here. But is this written for autistic people? How is this giving it, or is it written for very young people? In which case, bit weird. How's your dating life going? Again, this doesn't mean that they are gay. What doesn't mean that they're gay? You've asked them a question. You asking them a question does not mean they are gay. I think the response, right? Point number 5, another way you can observe people's behavior to see if they are, in fact, gay. Avoid making assumptions based on their looks, style, or voice. As we've already said, there is absolutely no way that you can tell if someone's gay by looking at them. No, never, ever. If they're queer, yes. Yeah, you can see it a mile off, right? That's what wikihow said. Wikihow's words, not mine, okay? So, for example, it's got 3 bullet points here, 3 helpful bullet points. For example, a guy can paint his fingernails and not be gay. Now, I get their point. They mean gay as in homosexual. However, in Passing Cross 20 years ago, if you painted your fingernails, someone, probably Barry Otter, who lived up the road, would have said, that's right, gay. Gay. Right? And I don't think, we were kids. We didn't even really think about sexuality. I mean, we weren't that well versed, I have to say. Just kind of gay, right? Paint your fingernails. We've got, what would I say? It's just not the done thing on Passing Cross. Lads were not painting their fingernails. Ever. Right? Maybe Aaron would have. Aaron maybe. But they had kind of more money than us. They were strange. Yeah, maybe they painted their fingernails. I don't know. Similarly, a girl can prefer a short haircut and not be a lesbian. Now, did you know that not all women with short hair are lesbians? Who is this written for? Oh, man. What if you are attracted to women with short hair? Does that make you a bit gay? I find variety is the thing, innit? It's like if you just see women with long hair, and then there's one with short hair, it's like, oh, different. Whew. Catches your attention. It's like men with beards, isn't it? Beards were in vogue for a while recently, and they're kind of going out again, but they went full on bushy beards when we hadn't seen beards. We hadn't seen beards for decades, had we? Centuries. Right? And then suddenly full on bushy Viking beards were in vogue with the hipsters. And I didn't go for it. Not at all. And it's not because I can't grow a big luscious beard, because I definitely can. Look at that stubble. You'd be frightened of me with a big bushy beard. Brian Blessed. Yeah, everyone looked like Brian Blessed for a while, didn't they? Another bullet point to help you avoid making assumptions. Additionally, straight guys can have high-pitched voices. Don't do the voice. They can have high-pitched voices just like straight girls can have deep voices. It's kind of sexy when girls have deep voices. Not so much when men have high-pitched voices, I have to say. Doesn't work both ways. Okay? Sorry. I don't think most women find men with very high-pitched voices sexy. They can counteract that with, other things to make themselves attractive. It's not the end of the world, guys that have got really high-pitched voices. But, that was the worst thing as a boy when you get to around 12, 13, and then the older kids have all got these broken, deep man voices, and you get into an argument with someone who's a bit older than you, and they're just so imitating you like that. That was another one of my childhood traumas. That happened to me a couple of times on the 674 going back to Parson Cross. Was it 674 or 675? 675, that was it. Started getting the 674 and getting off in Grenoside to avoid the scum. But, the school bus is coming back. I went to school on the other side of the city in a nice area. It was one of only 2 Catholic high schools in Sheffield, Notre Dame. And they'd bus us all in. I was bussed into school like Kamala Harris. And I was, it'd take you like an hour to get in, 45 minutes, an hour on the bus. And that was hell on earth. That was hell on earth, getting that bus. And so eventually I stopped, and I used to get a different bus, which all of my friends from primary school used to get. And that just stopped in Grenoside, which was miles away from my house. I had to just walk home from there. Just to avoid getting on the 675 with all the with all the Ecclesfield and Parson Cross lot. Yeah, because that was worse, because that went through Pittsmore and all these other rough areas. There was a guy on that bus, my God, Marcus, he was called. And his ritual in the morning, he would get on the bus with a mouthful of Skittles. He'd just pour the Skittles in his mouth. He'd come up to the top deck, and he'd fill his mouth with Skittles, Marcus, and then he'd drink like a big swig of, I don't know what it was, Vimto, something purple, and everyone would be like, oh fuck, and get down behind the seats, and he'd just go like all over the fucking bus, and everyone's like laughing. Some people are distraught. Now I was a bit of a messy kid at the time, but dirt, saliva, bodily fluids, things like that, can't handle it. That was fucking awful. I never got hit though. It was always a good day when Danny Williamson used to get on the bus, because he would control Marcus. He was bigger. and he could keep Marcus in check, and he'd be like, don't do that fucking shit. Marcus would be like cowering. And you gotta bear in mind, Marcus was a lot bigger than me. Like, this is like a pond. You got the great white, Danny Williamson, and you have Marcus Allen, I think his name was. I probably shouldn't be saying these names, should I? But I'm sure they're all good citizens today. Anyway, my point was, there's one more bullet point about making assumptions here. It says, at the end of the day, it is always better to ask than to make assumptions. Yeah, I don't know, though. I don't know. Don't know if you could ever ask, really, in passing cross. Anyway, that was a longer video than I expected. I don't know. I'll see you in the next one. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff that helps me, and I'll see you in the next video.